Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks for today. We're talking Wednesday, December 3rd. Happy Wednesday, everybody. The splash zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 4 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for this NBA betting slate. I am very confident in the 4 plays that we have. They're actually all 4 plus money bangers. So hopefully, 2 and 2 equals profit, but let's have a 4-0 day. That would feel very, very nice. Before we get into that, we're going to do a recap from yesterday, which was amazing. I cannot stress how badly we needed a day like yesterday. Jared McCain, De'Aaron Fox, Emmanuel Quickly, all 3 of them came through. Quickly even hit the 20-plus point ladder if you ended up taking that. I did not, and I said that I wouldn't recommend it. So if people did, congrats to you. But 3-0 felt incredible. We desperately needed to have a day like this. That now makes it 2 days in a row in which we have been profitable on the splash zone. Now, I mentioned yesterday that a 3-0 day, we couldn't make back everything in one day, but that 3-0 would feel very nice, and that's exactly what happened. On the entire year, we still got a ways to go. It's just been mostly bad this NBA season, but it feels very good to have a day like yesterday. And the way the NBA season has gone, I lost my first 6 plays right off the bat. Lost my first 6. Then over the course of last Saturday to last Tuesday or Wednesday, I lost 10 straight NBA plays. So if you're wondering how the heck are you down 13 units on the year, that's a 5-day stretch, can tell you exactly why. Now, outside of that, yeah, we've been great, but outside of the 10, 16 straight losses, we've been good. It doesn't really help. But 13 units we are down on the year. 2 straight days in the green feels very, very good. Coming off of a sweep feels very, very good. Hopefully we can continue that success for tonight. Those of you that have been rocking with me, hopefully you were able to get in the plays yesterday because, again, that felt very nice. As for today, as I mentioned, I have 4 plays for you guys to lock in, and we'll just get right into it. Play number 1 is actually this guy right here. We are taking Donovan Mitchell to go 30-plus points. That is at best offered at plus 106 at FanDuel. So instead of taking his over-under at 28.5, just pumped that bad boy up 1 point, got 30-plus points. I think for Donovan Mitchell, it makes a ton of sense. Only one time this year has he scored exactly 29 points. Like in this case, I think it makes a lot more sense to pump it up to 30, whereas yesterday I didn't like pumping up a lot of the plays that I was on. This game right here, he landed on exactly 29 points against the Bulls. But still, you look at the year that Donovan Mitchell's having, 12 of 20 games, he scored 30 points per game. He is averaging 30 points per game. So right off the bat, he hits this at a 60% rate, and it's well within his average. Now you want to look at the injury news and make sure that, like, all right, is there any injury situation that's going to take away a little bit of the scoring, the workload, and everything for Donovan Mitchell? Not really. Jared Allen and Sam Merrill are out. Now, Darius Garland is in. But even if you look at games that Darius Garland has played, he scored 30-plus points in 4 out of 7 games, averaging 32 points per game. He had a couple explosive games with 46 points, 42 points, came close one game with 28. Had a gross last game out where he only scored 18 points against the Celtics. But then he blew up, scored 43 points the next time after that against the Pacers. He really has only had one stretch this year where he did not go over in 3 straight games. And he's had a couple situations like over in 3 here, over in 5 of 6 here. Like, it's just been really, really good. So he checks off every box in terms of, like, how often does he hit this play? Is this well within his average? Stuff like that. The next thing that you want to look at is the matchup. And the matchup against the Blazers is very, very good. This play we were on yesterday, if we go back to yesterday, the Raptors versus Blazers, Emmanuel Quickly, we took a point guard against the Blazers. It came through. It's the same logic for Donovan Mitchell. One thing that I love about Props Madness is you can hover over the matchup and just kind of get an idea of what the matchup looks like. And there's a couple things that I want to highlight here. We see mostly green on the screen. D rank versus DPT, defensive rank versus play type. That's the pick and roll ball handler. That's how Donovan Mitchell scores the majority of his points. The Blazers are the 8th worst defense in the NBA, guarding the pick and roll ball handler. And let's just go down the list. Next up is transition, 3rd worst. Next up is free throws, 3rd worst. Next up is isolation, 10th worst. They are a bottom 10 defense in, 85, 90% of the ways that Donovan Mitchell scores. It's a really, really, really good matchup. 3 out of 3 players similar to Donovan Mitchell have hit their point prop over. Now, Reeves did this in a game that Luka missed, scored 41. Over-under was 28.5. Keontae George scored 29. Over-under was 17.5. Only Jamal Murray was the one who came close. Hooked his over-under, scored 22. Over-under was 21.5. It's a really good matchup. Another thing that you can look at here is if you hover over the matchup, you can look down. It's like the fifth one down, D rank versus position. I can actually show you where it is. If you look at what is highlighted on the screen here in blue, D rank versus position, 27th. That means the Blazers allow the fourth most points per game to the guard position. Now, Props Madness doesn't look at point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward. It just looks at like guard slash forward, forward slash center, stuff like that. Either way, good matchup. But you want to even go to like, all right, let's look at like point guards and stuff specifically. We're looking at the last 30 days here, according to a website called #NBA, wherever it says the name up here in the URL. We're looking at the last 30 days of the regular season because I do like to look at a recent sample size to make sure that nothing is changing. Guess what? Guess who allows the third most points per game over the last month to point guards? Your Portland Trail Blazers. Another website here looking at point guards because I like to get I like to look at as many websites as possible just to make sure that they're all telling the same story, and they are. The Blazers allow the most points per game, according to Fantasy Pros, to point guards. There's a ton to like about this Donovan Mitchell play. That is play number 1. And next up, we are heading down to these Clippers versus Hawks game, and we're taking Jalen Johnson, and we're taking him another 25-plus point play. So his over-under is 23.5. He has yet to land on exactly 24 points. I think in this case, it also makes more sense to pump him up to 25-plus points. That is +1 of 6 odds at FanDuel. Now, the biggest thing for Jalen Johnson is the injury situation for the Hawks. Now, Trae Young's been out for a while. He's still out. The biggest news here, no Kristaps Porzingis. Jalen Johnson has played 7 games without both of these guys in the lineup. And guess what? He's gone over in literally all 7 games. This is a 100% hit rate when both Trae Young and Kristaps Porzingis are out. That makes a ton of sense. Who, especially the KP part, he's also a stretch big. Who is taking away shots from Jalen Johnson when KP's not on the floor? Nobody. I mean, you look at their lineup. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, who I also think is a good look. If you look at him, he's over in 6 of 7 games. His over-under is 20.5. I think he's also a good look. I settled on Jalen Johnson. If you want to take Nickeil Alexander-Walker, I don't blame you. But he's a guard. And Onyeka Okongwu is a true center guard, like a spot-up shooter, point guard. Like, there's nobody else that's going to take anything away from Jalen Johnson. So, yeah, he's gone over in 7 out of 7 games. Now, there's 2 games where he's been close. 25 points here against the Suns, 25 points here against the Pistons. What I like is that he's done it in good matchups, like against the Jazz, like against the Hornets, like against the Sixers. Granted, this game went into double overtime, so he played 45 minutes in this game, so obviously that's going to be a little bit of an outlier. But he's done it in tough matchups. The Pistons, one of the best defenses in the NBA, he did it against them twice. Did it against the Cavs, who also have a good defense. Now, you hover over this matchup here against the Clippers. It's some good, some bad. Like, I'm not going to... This is less a matchup play, more a play on injury situations. Like Donovan Mitchell matchup play. This one more so to do with the players not playing, but also the it's not that scary of a matchup either. It's not like he's playing the Thunder or anything like that. A lot of green in terms of the shot zone on the floor. They allow the 8th most points per game in transition. That's where he scores the majority of his points. 3 out of 4 similar players to Jalen Johnson have gone over against the Clippers. And overall, they have the 4th worst defense in the NBA according to defensive net rating. So I'm not scared off of the matchup, and I love the increased usage with these guys. With these guys out. So Jalen Johnson on the points is our second play. Next up is Kings versus Rockets. We're going with another point prop here. We're going with Alperen Şengün, and we're also pumping him up. I'm taking him to score 25 plus points. That's at +177 at DraftKings. Really, the reason why I like to pump up here for Şengün is just because the value. I think getting him at +177 to score 25 plus points is really, really good. Now, you could take his main line over 21.5 at DraftKings and Hard Rock at -114, -115. I wouldn't blame anybody for doing that. The thing with Şengün, one time this year, he has landed between 22 and 25 points. This is this game right here where he scored 23 points against the Bucks. Every other game, he's gone 25 or more. Now, in this situation, the 25 plus, he's done in 8 of 18 games, averaging 22 points per game. So unlike the Donovan Mitchell one, We're asking him to go a little bit above what his average is, but for good reason. This is about as good of a matchup as you could possibly ask for against the Sacramento Kings. You hover over this matchup here, you see a ton of green. Defensive rank versus DPT, post up. Literally the worst defense in the NBA, guarding post ups. Now, from a shot zone perspective, they're good at keeping players out of the restricted area. Guess where they're really bad? The non-restricted area of the paint. They allow the second most points per game here. Şengün is very, very good in that area of the floor, and that's also 31% of his shot profile. But I want to look at points in the paint allowed, third most. Defensive rank versus position, worst, meaning the Kings allow the most points per game to centers in the entire NBA, according to Props Madness. Now let's confirm that. Let's look at other sources. This one is over the last 30 days. We're looking at points per game. Guess who's number one? Your Sacramento Kings have allowed the most points per game to centers in the entire NBA over the last 30 days. Let's look at Fantasy Pros. Just make sure. Not quite the worst, but the third worst in terms of points per game allowed to the center position. And if you look at how Şengün performs against these teams that are good matchups, this is what sold me on pumping him up to 25 plus points. We're looking at teams, and this is also what I love about Props Madness. So we're looking at teams that are in the bottom half guarding his play type, which we know is the post up. So basically, these are the top half of the league, the best top half in terms of matchups, the best matchups for him in terms of his play type. He's gone over in 6 out of 10 games. He missed it the first time, so it's really over in 6 out of his last 9 games. He has scored 25, not even his main line, but 25 plus points in 6 out of 10 games against teams in the bottom half guarding post-ups. Now let's look at in terms of guarding the center position. How does he perform against teams that are bad against guarding centers? We're looking at the bottom half. This one's a little bit scarier. It's only 4 of 8, but it's really 4 of 6 because, again, he missed it in 2 games at the beginning of the year. He's gone over in 4 out of his last 6 games in the good matchups. And then you want to look at, like, how does he perform against teams that allow a ton of points in the paint? We're looking at the same stat here. Teams that are in the bottom half in terms of points in the paint allowed. Guess what? 5 out of 8 games. So more often than not, he's going over in the good matchups. That's what he has against the Kings. It's actually one of the best matchups. So I love for him to go over in this matchup. You look at players similar to him, it's over in 3 of 4 have gone over, but it's really Jokic just annihilated them. Now, Şengün is not Jokic, but he's got a relatively similar scoring profile. And if Jokic can annihilate them for 44, 35, 34, then yeah, Şengün can score 25 against them. That's play number 3. And then our fourth and final pick of the video is a non-point prop. We're going with Josh Giddey on the assists. Now, this is a classic Matt play, a Pepto play, all of the above. When I was cooking in the NBA 2 years ago, when I was up 118 units, it was filled with plays such as this. So let's hope that it ends up coming through for tonight. It's Giddey 10 plus. I know people in the comments say that I sound like I'm out of breath, probably because I talk too fast. But anyways, Giddey 10 plus assists. The best offered price here is plus 115 at Bet365. You can also get plus 110 at Hard Rock and plus 104 at both FanDuel and Caesars, which I would still take. As long as you're getting like above plus 10, plus 104, like any of these 4 books, I would take. Now you're going to say, well, Giddey has missed this in 4 straight games. Why do you like it? Let's look at these 4 games that he's gone under. 17 potential assists. 17 potential assists, just had 9 assists, just hooked. 17 potential assists, 16 potential assists. You're sensing a theme here. He's crushing the potential assists. He's just not able to go over. He's averaging just under 17 potential assists per game, 16.8, above his average of 16.4, and he's yet to hit this in one of these games. Let's look at every single game he has played over the last 2 years in which he has had at least 16 potential assists. It's been only 26 games, but he's gone over 70% of the time, and that's including having missed it in 4 straight games. Last year, he went over in 9 of 11 games in which he had at least 16 potential assists, averaging 11 assists per game. The 2 games he did not hit, 9 and 9. This year, it's only 5 of 11, but it's actually 5 of 7 if you take out these last 4 games. So it's just been incredibly bad luck, him not going over his assist prop, but the potential assists are there. And guess what? So is the matchup. I love this matchup against the Nets. You hover over this matchup here. Assists allowed, 5th most. Assists allowed to the guard position, 6th most. Points in the paint allowed, 8th most. Defensive net rating, 2nd worst. Similar players, 2 out of 2 have hit their assist prop. Siakam had 10. Jalen Johnson had 5. Just went over, still went over, and actually Trae Young played in that game as well. It's a phenomenal matchup for Josh Giddey to hit his assist prop. And you look at the injury news, no Herter, no Kobe White, but the biggest thing here is Vooch is in. And, you know, he played a lot of games with Vooch. He take out this 3-game stretch, it's over in 8 of 14 games with Vooch in the lineup. So I do like the fact that Vooch is in, just somebody that can catch and shoot for him. But I love this play for Josh Giddey. If you really want to get spicy, you can take him to record a triple-double, which I think is a pretty good look as well. But I'm just rocking with the assists. And that's all we got. So 4 total plays, for you guys to lock in. All 4 plus money bangers. Donovan Mitchell, 30 plus. Jalen Johnson, 25 plus. Şengün, 25 plus. And Giddey, 10 plus assists. I thank everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Make sure to bet responsibly, and have a good one.